Just when you thought this story couldn't get any crazier, the degenerate leftist who saw her boyfriend murdered in front of her and refused to cooperate with the police to seek justice is now visiting her boyfriend's killer in prison. Guys, it's very important to understand what is befalling our society. The leftist degeneracy of Marxism is corroding every aspect of people's minds and morality. This girl not only refused to cooperate with police to identify the man that had killed her boyfriend in front of her, which is incomprehensible in and of itself, she's been seen visiting her boyfriend's killer in jail. There was a famous incident that happened in New York weeks ago where a leftist couple, a far leftist activist young man and a far leftist activist woman who was a part of BLM and ACAB, so a couple straight out of hell, they were walking the streets of New York and the boyfriend was stabbed to death by a murderous black man in front of the Marxist leftist degenerate, I'll call her degenerate because she is, degenerate woman. And this went absolutely viral. But the part of it that I thought needed to be recognized wasn't going viral, which was the fact that the girlfriend not only failed to demonstrate humanity in response to the situation, she didn't cooperate with police because she wears shirts that say ACAB. So she didn't tell the police what the black man looked like who had just murdered her boyfriend in front of her. Leftist identity politics overrides seeing someone murder your boyfriend in front of you. That is the power of their degeneracy. You guys have to pay attention to this because people in society like this are walking around. Think how little they must care about your life. I said this in the previous video. Think about how little they must care about your life if this is how little they care about their boyfriend's lives, the lives of the people that they love. This is scary. This is dangerous. This is reminiscent of people having so little regard for their family and loved ones that they would inform on them in the Soviet Union in the communist totalitarian system. The leftist ideology degenerates people's morality and their ability to make sense of the world. Imagine that your girlfriend or that your wife saw you murdered in front of them, saw the person that did it and didn't seek justice, and the reason they didn't is because they were leftist, because they were told that the identity status of the killer was of automatic virtue. To the extent where they ignore their eyes and ears. Oh my gosh, dude, it's straight out of Orwell. Orwell was writing about these leftists. The final command of the party is to make them ignore what their eyes and ears tell them. There is no greater embodiment of ignoring your eyes than seeing someone murder your boyfriend in front of you and then not talking to the police to put them in jail, to then visiting them, to not condemning them, to not even feeling sad about your boyfriend's death because they were a part of the leftist group identity. And of course, you know that all leftists are super hesitant to admit that there's a crime problem in New York because that would prove the conservatives right. Oh, that's about order. Oh, are you a fascist? You want to enforce laws? We elected DAs so that we would just let criminals out of jail on purpose because we hate signals of accountability, so we can't hold people in jail. It's ingrained in their ideology. So back to the situation. Imagine that your girlfriend saw you murdered, refused to seek justice with the police, and then visited your killer in prison. That's who these leftists are. That's what Marxism does. Take a close look. This is what someone worse than an SS officer looks like. Communism, the far left ideology, killed 10 times as many people through internal repression as Hitler. 6 million Jews in Germany, 60 million people dead to internal repression in the Soviet Union. Take a close look at her face. You're looking at what pure evil looks like, and it's the left that's done it. Incompetent, sadistic parasites that do it, that are created by the left. This is how you know that they're unable to think. This is how you know they're unable to think, because he committed murder in front of her. It doesn't get more explicit than that. She didn't just hear about it. He committed a murder in front of her. And because he's black and occupies that identity politics, Marxist status in her mind, he couldn't have done anything wrong. When I tell you that that this Marxist ideology abdicates them of making sense of ideas and contending with objective frameworks of morality. It's not hyperbole, I'm not exaggerating. You're seeing it in front of you. This should be making way more waves than it actually is. Guys, her boyfriend was murdered in front of her. She isn't seeking justice. She's demonstrated not even an iota of remorse for his death, even though he was stabbed to death in front of her. She's refusing to cooperate with police because a cab, and now she's visiting her boyfriend's murderer in prison. This is who the left is. Guys, subscribe to the channel.